We're ready.
I know.
TikTok.
All right, 3:30. Call the Egan City Special Meeting, Water and Sewer Meeting, July 6, 26 to order. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public comment. This is the opportunity for public to comment on items on the agenda. If there's an item requires council action, it will be scheduled for an upcoming meeting. This session is limited to 30 minutes, allowing 3 minutes per citizen. Is there any public comment? Seeing there is no public comment, moving on to new business. Jeff, you're presenting.
Okay. So first thing is they want sewer in the old bank. There's no sewer in Main Street, no sewer in the alley behind on the south side of Main Street. So you either have to come up to Irving or you got to go down to Second. So if you went down to Second, we already have a water line in that, in the ditch. You'd have to dig down the Blacktop Road, so it would not be cost effective. So the sewer at the alley, according to our sewer maps, we're 12 feet deep. We're plenty deep to get over to that. My question is how much the city wants to be involved. Harvey Donnelly wants to dig it for the gentleman. And if Harvey Donnelly is going to dig it, the city needs insurance, certificate of insurance. If you were going to do it per code, you'd have a manhole at the alley where there's clean out. Then we tie in this steel building or where Smith used to cut hair. That ties into the 6-inch that goes to on down to Second. So we can get by with what's there, put in a Y and a clean out in the alley so that it can be jetted, or that would be the most reasonable way, and you'd be paying for all of that. If you wanted to go with a manhole, you should have a manhole there and a manhole at the west end, and we should dig it to grade, put it embedded in rock. But I think that just off the top of my head, I think it's $20,000, and you've never had houses there that needed sewer since 60s or 70s maybe.
So we would never make any money off of it if we put.
You'd never make any
Never
money off
recover.
it.
Never recover the expense.
No, but it would make the lots more sellable, obviously, if anybody ever wanted a lot. But and then I think there's a vacant lot maybe to the south, but maybe there isn't. I don't know. But anyways, it's really not very cost effective. And so I don't have a problem working with Harvey if the city wants that. But I'm going to be there and guide him to protect us, because we definitely need to clean out where everything ties together. We definitely need to clean out on the west end. We can clean that 300 feet. And I don't care what he does, in a sense, from there to the building. If you can lay that 300 feet, you can sure lay the 50 feet to the new, and that'd be 4-inch, I would guess, to the new living quarters. If I understood it right, there was going to be no basement. The only thing deep was going to be an outside stairway, so we can get into the old bank from the outside, put the garage down in, and no, the living, yeah, the living quarters in between, yes, and then a second story, right? So, anyways, he wants to be able to get into the bank in the basement, and I believe there's a doorway southwest corner that was bricked back shut when I was there looking at things. a couple weeks ago. So that's the first thing you guys gotta decide whether you're gonna dig anything and if the property down is okay. And I don't know if we can control it anyways, but it's on public ground the whole way. We're gonna be digging up the city's alley all the way, and so you're gonna be disturbing, dumping dirt on people's property on both sides, so that needs to be regraded and seeded on private property if they don't have a problem with it. You know, you guys have a city park there for 150 feet maybe, so that's probably not a big deal in that part, but the first part might be and the rest we can dump on Ted's land.
Yes.
So,
So if Harvey's digging, is he going to also do the fill and the cleanup after?
well, that's stuff we gotta tell him. But yes, he would have to do all of it.
Yeah, then if Harvey does it, the only responsibility the city would ever have in this whole part is the 2 cleanouts, right?
Yep.
The part that's 200 or whatever you said feet, that's all on the property owner then. And the city never has to deal with any of that.
Well, just other than cleaning it.
Yeah.
Yep. And so hopefully he's a smart guy, so hopefully he's gonna get laser. He's gonna lay 6-inch. So it should be laid to grade. And we went 6 inches versus 4, so we can lay a lot flatter. Otherwise, we're gonna keep raising it when we get to the west end.
So I think it would have to be spelled out very specifically under Jeff's guidance, I suppose. Like, can we hand Harvey a spec sheet and say, this is what it's gotta be, him and the gentleman, and you gotta lay 6-inch pipe, it's,
I would think so. Again, that's kinda you guys. You know, if we were doing it professionally, we'd have an engineer that all been spelled out in an engineer agreement, but then we're spending $10,000 on the engineer agreement besides the digging. It protects you, but you're getting over that dollar threshold that, you know, you're paying for it, you're gonna have to put it out the bids.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody said that threshold's way bigger now, over 50,000, but I don't know that myself, so.
But it's for private purposes, it's not for the city good, right?
right.
The only city good we'd get out of it is we would have 2 new manholes and we could possibly get water at the gazebo, right?
Water and gazebo is a different item.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing
We're
you're
on
gonna,
sewer, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
Just
the
sewer.
only thing you're gonna gain is that sewer pipe and if you guys write up a spec sheet, make sure that they know that you're taking it over when it's done, if you want to ever hook to it.
Good
Otherwise,
advice.
it's kind of gets line, even if it's in the public right of way. You could probably win the fight.
But there'd be a fight.
If there would ever be a fight. There probably wouldn't be, but if you guys are gonna put water in the gazebo, pretty soon you're gonna have a flush toilet at the gazebo. I hope not, but, I mean, that's you guys, you can put it on.
So things we need to consider is when they obviously have to have a locate.
Yep.
The depth of trench. The recovery after. The cleanup.
Yeah. And we want 6-inch pipe.
And the specific pipe and size.
Yep.
We will have the ability to connect to it at any time after project is complete.
We have to write that up. but-
Yeah, no, I'm just kind
Yeah,
of,
but if you could, yes, that would be,
and
that'd be
then
a deal.
the specific depth of the trench. And
Yeah,
then put,
But I'm not sure, with the specific depth of the trench, we want them to lay it as deep as they can, or as flat a grade. But we can't really judge the depth. I mean, it's gonna be, if we're 12 feet, we want them to start at 12 feet and stay at a
let's see, let's just put under
1.8% grade or something.
Jeff's guidance.
Yeah, that's fine.
What other considerations do we need? I really feel we need to, whatever we do, decide it should be wrote out very clearly to protect
Everybody.
everybody.
Especially
Involved.
if you got insurance on your list.
Oh, nope,
Gotta have a certificate of liability from them. And that's standard for any contractor. But I don't know that he's a contractor, so.
yeah, but you can still get it.
Yes, yeah.
And what other considerations? Because I put on the, the cleanup afterwards, refilling and,
Seeding. And if you guys want the alley gravel, I don't remember if that was very gravel or not. Most of the side, but-
Grass Valley, that's what it's pretty seen.
Okay, so then just the seeding.
okay,
Are the cleanups on us?
No.
That would be them.
What can be, they need it for their, anytime you make a 45-degree bend, you need to clean out. That is code. So if he's going to go to code, he needs to automatically do that. But if we paid for that, that'd be cheap.
Oh, gee.
$200 for both ends.
I would still say it's,
It's just plastic pipe.
Yeah.
It's not pipe place stuff.
okay, so I'm just gonna put cleanouts must be installed at each end.
Yep.
Okay,
Easements for the other property owners?
If we're not gonna dig on them, we don't necessarily need full-time easement, but construction easement,
Yes.
because they're gonna dump dirt on their lawn.
Yep.
Yes.
It's really only one vacant lot available here as far as looking into the new line. That's one right across from Mike's. Then Mike Larson ones. Otherwise, the city's got 2 lots.
Who's in charge of getting the construction easements?
And then
Well, you
City?
have to have your attorney write it. I can sure make contact on the notary. I'd have no problem with that.
where are you gonna get the water from now? I,
For, if we're done with the sewer, I'll go to water.
let's get the sewer done
let's get
first.
sewer first, yeah. Okay, so I think I'll make a motion that we allow all this to happen, that Harvey can dig, that Jeff's gonna oversee pending this very specific list of contractual items before any of the work can commence.
I'll second your motion.
There's been a motion and a second to have Harvey in under the stipulations wrote down
Michelle's
to
office.
construct the sewer line to the old bank. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
And I,
Opposed? Motion carried.
Megan, I'll give you this long list afterward.
You may have to do it to a lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh, your next thing
second
is,
questions about this whole thing.
Can I explain what I gave you guys? The financials part of it, just so you know what exactly is in our fund for sewer. Because majority of this stuff will go out of there if there's any costs, even maybe the lawyer stuff. So. But the next thing on there, the hydrant gazebo part, I guess, will be the water fund, which I did give you. But that will probably, if you guys decide that, that'll go out of parks. And we have money in the parks fund. Right? For the year.
Okay.
All right.
your next one is possible manhole installed near alley. Is that,
Yeah, and that would just be, it's the same thing, we'd just be putting in one manhole instead of 2, but
no,
we'll just eliminate that if you guys so desire. So, a year ago, you guys wanted water at the gazebo. So I started looking and I think I found 3 curb stop valves in the street. Well, it was the day or 2 days before the big all-school reunion. I didn't want to pickaxe the pavement, make holes or whatever. So I didn't do anything and I hadn't heard a thing for a whole year. So if you're thinking about it, what I would like to do is I'd go and I'd pickaxe them and see if we have water to any one of them. And then I would want you guys to tell me where you'd want the hydrant, because let's say it's the curb stop to the west and you want the hydrant to the east. Well, then I just need to know what your input is. And then it needs to be metered. So if we don't put in a meter pit, that's $1,000 by itself, extra. So if you don't put it in, I'd screw a meter to the hydrant that we take off in the fall, and you can put on in the spring. Then you can hook a garden hose to it. That would be the most reasonable way to go. You obviously can't be left out in the winter.
Mhm.
So it'd be part of a list of maintenance stuff, like when you go to the ball diamond and drain stuff, you take this meter off and put them inside.
Any idea what it'll cost to get a hydrant to the gazebo park?
The hydrant itself's over 200, probably 250, and you can't hardly get a digger here for $700-800 minimum, probably.
Yep.
So you got over 1,000 spent, and I'll get those prices for you. Maybe not by your next meeting, but I would get them because I go make sure I got water to one of those curb stops.
And that also scares me because you have to go through our pavement to
Yeah.
find. Yeah.
Yes. And I don't know why Egan did it. Wentworth's the same way. Why would you put a curb stop in a gutter on Main Street? Put it in the dang sidewalk, any place but the street. But yeah, and so there's probably not very much pavement there,
But still,
So I'm gonna bring a torch, big torch, and pickaxe, and dig where I find metal. And I found 3 places where there's metal. If there's water to it.
maybe not.
Maybe not, yeah. But what I found like down across Pierce, that was still alive. Going to the vacant lot at Emerald, that's on there. There were big white fences.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
Sarah.
So we disconnected that when we did the new main, because I want new pipe if somebody's gonna build, I'm just trying to eliminate some leaks, so it's like 100 or 150 feet of old copper, so maybe it'll last, maybe it won't, but it's going down. So anyways, yeah, if we got water to them, at least one of them, then
And if we don't, we have 3 holes in Main Street
yes.
and no water still.
And still no water. Then the next option is you gotta dig all the way across Main Street or bore it. Okay, so I'll jump back to the bank. Bank has a 6-inch water main going east and west on the east side of Fred. And we could get the sewer map out and show you, but anyways, he's only got to dig like 15 feet, 20 feet for water for his new addition. Because the bank never had water. So that one will be easy. And if you really wanted water and we don't have it on Main Street, we could bring it up the alley and then come into the back to the gazebo, but then you're talking thousands again.
Well, I'm not sure, but I think the idea of water at the gazebo was if they're putting it in anyway, can we tap
It was
into
more
it?
than needed. It was a pain. It's a pain in the butt to haul water from over here when we have flowers over there.
And yeah, the request has been made like during events, is there a hose hookup and stuff for like dump tanks and whatever else they've done over there, so.
I don't think it's not gonna hurt anything where he's gonna pickaxe on the road. I mean,
Right.
It's not like big holes.
Hopefully it's just that.
Yeah.
And if we dig to it, then we fix it. Because sidewalk, if you're really gonna do something, you're gonna do the sidewalk and fix.
Right.
Properly.
Well, the sidewalk needs to be fixed too, so.
Yeah.
Maybe we make it an all-encompassing park project.
Any other questions on that one?
No,
So do we need to make a motion for him
Yeah.
to
I make a
explore?
motion to let Jeff pickaxe 3 spots on Main Street to see where we have water and get quotes to see how much it is before we act on it.
I will second that one.
A motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
put it in the notes that way too.
I'll read it word for word off the video,
Yeah.
because I can't write that thing.
Okay. Meter pits.
Can I go back and ask some questions?
Yes. I don't care.
I gave them some financials, and one thing, when you were talking to me about the manual, it was gonna be expensive, this is why I got it out. I didn't realize you would change your
We changed this game plan.
game.
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas in my head.
Well, that's fine, because I do that all the time, I think of something, and then 3 days later, I change my mind. Can you ask me about the lagoon? How much will that lagoon project that needs to be done? Roundabouts.
Roundabout
Way more than what we have.
300,000.
300,000 maybe? Okay.
And again, you gotta hire an engineer because you're touching the sewer and the DANR is involved, so.
Okay, how long has this lagoon project been trying to get planned? From what I see, it's been at least 10 years.
It's not being planned, it's just a matter of
Collecting
proactive
money.
when it's gonna happen, when they come in and say,
You
it
have
needs to be done.
And if we choose to, we can afford it. When we can afford to do it, we can do it if they don't demand it. But if we, how do I wanna say it? If we have flood years, then we get erosion issues. And we have, since 19, we can't hardly keep water in the ponds, so it's,
But still be planning on $300,000
Yes.
fund balance.
you know, and if it takes us
Make sure
20 years to
it's
save
growing.
that, it might be 500,000.
Well, yeah, but make sure that fund balance keeps growing.
Yes, it has to grow.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, that's, I don't know, you guys started it, and then
Started that in about 2016.
yep, okay.
Is there
Yeah,
any
that's
grant
what-
money for
That's
that?
exactly what, about 10 years.
So I had those guys, that we talked about it, and they raised their rates proactively for that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there grant money available for that?
Yes, because I probably always get some grant money because we're a low income town. But as soon as you involve them, the project costs less money.
I don't know.
So that's why we've been dragging our feet, because they aren't making us yet, and we're just getting ready for it.
Yes,
It's because we believe it's coming someday.
and they're not grants, full grants anymore. So you're going to be paying probably 70%.
Yeah, I think when we looked right away when it started, it was like, we paid 80 and we got 20 or something, yeah.
And by the time you pay your attorney and your, all the legal stuff, the 20 is long.
I just needed to know information from the guy. Thank you.
Okay,
Meter pits.
meter pits, all right. Our friend over in the trailer court at 108, the First Street probably, moved in that trailer house in the winter and sat it over top of our meter. And as the board, they said, yes, we will do that, but in the spring, you put in a meter pit. Okay, so whether it was 19 or 20, I don't know, but we couldn't buy meter pits because of COVID crap. Okay, so the next year we had meter pits available, but he wouldn't call a digger to line it up. So we need to shut him off because the meter's not reading. And it's in there 20-some feet under his trailer house. I'm not doing that anymore because of mold, fungus, whatever. He was told we put in a new service from the south on off First Street, set a meter pit, a property line, curb stop meter pit, and then dig a new line in to under his skirting. And I showed it to Johnson Brothers and I showed it to Rick Schoenrock, but he won't call him and hire anybody. If we go with the existing line, it feeds off Irving up the alley, goes across to the alley in the trailer court and fed 3 trailers. Well, I just soon eliminate all that issue, shut it off there, because that gets rid of 200 and some feet of leak potential, or 300. put in a new line off the new 6-inch, everything's big. And we have an actual meter pit, we don't have to deal with attitudes or whatever, we just go look at the meter when we want to. But, so I need you guys are the ones that gotta force that issue. And he says, I don't know why I can't leave it or something like that, I don't remember the last time I even talked to him. And I can't remember if he talked to Megan about it, but
He's never talked to me about it, but I know every time we can't get a meter reading off of him, we don't know how much water he's using.
and he sprinkles the lawn all the time. And so we can't do water loss, we can't. It's just not right. When he promised he'd do it, and maybe he doesn't have any money, that's fine, but make payments to the city. The city, if the city chooses to, we could install it and you pay an extra $200 a month on your water bill. But I don't think money's a problem, but I don't know that.
But the first step is to either have a date for a digger.
Yes.
So is this something we need to have the lawyer send this letter so everything is, or we just send a letter? What do we do here?
Yeah, let's give you guys know. I think you guys have the power, but I don't know if you can shut off somebody that pays the bill. But, you know, then you're back to the lawyer again. We need to read.
So if he's not here, if we're not, what are we sending him for a bill? Minimums?
We usually put 4,000 on there.
Not dollars.
No, 4,000,
That would get attention.
Leave it.
which is about the average. So that's the average on it.
Yeah, we're not trying to.
We're not giving them just
money,
minimums.
but it's like water in the winter.
But
I would
I've been
suggest,
doing it, and I guess this has been going on for 5 years.
Yes,
Yeah.
it needs to be done. You guys need to do it.
I guess my suggestion is, us as a city, we send a letter to them and say we need to act on this, and if there's nothing resolved within 2 weeks, then we have the lawyer send a letter, and then maybe that would be more
Right,
proactive.
I'll second that. If that was your motion.
Sure.
And he did freeze up when it's 20 below and asked us to come out and thaw it out. And we said, Big Sue, I don't remember where I was at. I said, no, you tell him no. He was supposed to put a meter pit in and get it out from underneath the trailer house. It's his problem. And I don't know what he did if he put heat underneath, but we never did have to. We don't know whether it's leaking, froze, broke. We know nothing.
Can I sign this board of trustees?
Yes.
Yeah.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, the next meter pit issue is this new double wide over here,
Harvey's?
Harvey's. So according to our ordinances, he needs to put in a meter pit. Harvey doesn't want a meter pit. Says, well, you have to talk to the board. I says, to me, we want a meter pit because his other double wide, the old one, again, it's 15 feet underneath. I have this much room to slide in to get to the meter. To me, I would like to see if he's gonna dig, he just will put in 2 meter pits, but
Yeah.
I can't push that. But he needs a meter pit for this trailer unless you guys change something. He says he would rather go into his, what you call a room, mud room or utility room. But then we're responsible all the way up to that, well, kind of. Because he'll say, who's ever living in this, what my line says. I'm not calling underneath it to fall off of his line, or to check to see if it's broken. And Harvey says, well, I'll make it accessible for you. Well, and I know Harvey's got apartments, but the problem with the deal is I've had to go into these ladies' bedrooms to look at water meters. I do not want to do that. In today's society, you don't go into
Right.
bedrooms, kids or ladies, and we have some in town. You know, we've changed a couple because of water leaks and had meter pits. But we need to protect us, and I need to protect Jeff or Big Sue, because there's no reason for me to have a meter in his utility room when I could have it outside, accessible to me. I don't have to knock on the door, I don't have to deal with laundry room, whatever.
Is this something we sent a letter, we will not hook up water or turn on water until the meter is installed?
Well, what?
That is something that we can definitely do.
I think there's an ordinance requirement.
That's right.
Yeah. And, that's.
And there's one word in there that I don't like the way it was written. And Brenda and John took that from
Somebody
another
else's.
website, another finance thing. And, yeah, and I have one here in my basket too, but, I just,
Which word don't you love?
Where meters cannot be located in a basement or secure and accessible mechanical rooms.
and if that mechanical room had an outside exit, that's fine, but I'll give you an example where that doesn't work. The trailer houses that were there had the meters in the hot water heater room, which were accessible outside, except it froze. And if we have them in a pit, 6 feet in the ground, we don't have to deal with that.
Right.
And so I don't have a problem coming into a machine shed on the level, not in the mold, not in the fungus, but it's just easier if it's outside.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it more cost effective for everyone just to have them on the outside?
What Big Sue found, we bought so many basements and things, because like here in Egan, it's not a big deal, we're only running 50 pounds, but at Big Sue, we're running anywhere from 160 to 80 pounds on one side of the meter and 50 on the other. So if the regulator quits, they'll get 150 pounds into their house, and we're blowing up plumbing and whatever. We don't have that issue in town, but I'm just, as an example, it's just better to be outside. It's not always perfect, but it's just better.
Well, and this ordinance spells it out pretty good.
Yes. Yeah, I never did really read it again, but
I just know we found it, you're talking one day.
because he's going to use that for secure or accessible mechanical room. Well, again, define the mechanical room. If I got to go through the house to get to the mechanical room, all it does is opens up liability.
Yeah.
And, but again, we're paid contractors, we do what we gotta do, but I'm not crawling underneath trailer houses, I'm too old, too much fungus and,
Too dangerous.
yeah, right. And then what have we found over the years? We take the skirting out to go look for that leak. Now it's our fault that the pipe froze. Our pipe that the skirting cracked. And let's just avoid all of that. Put it in the meter pit. You thaw it out. Because I can pull up the meter pit, yes, we have water to the meter, then it's not our issue.
Where's the meter pit in location to the shut off? Is it one and the same?
Shut off first in the meter pit. So
Okay.
we probably have it 2 or 3 feet apart. The meter pit will probably be on the private, and curb stop is typically on the property line.
So correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it the landowner's responsibility from the shut off
Yes.
to the property?
And that's why it says they have to be.
And that's also why there's an interest in having the shut off inside the trailer house.
Yes. Yeah, they need to have one on their end, but. Yeah.
Well,
The only way I can enforce is you guys have to enforce it. And I'm not gonna sit and argue about it. You talk to the city, you come to the city council meeting and you guys decide, but It really needs to be done to protect you in the long run, because again, how much water we losing. And these guys bring in that one day they brought in camper for a few months over there where that double wide is. I mean, you guys can make those decisions, but that should have been made to put in a meter pit. It's all exposed, sitting there, it froze. You at least bought 1 or 2 new meters because you cannot protect it from 20 below zero.
So, based on our ordinance and what we're requiring of the other place, we also need to do the exact same with this place.
Yeah, even-handed.
Yep,
Yeah.
even handed across the board.
Yeah.
So, let's send him a letter too.
Has he asked for water to be hooked up?
So just last fall we talked about it a little bit, and he says, I don't want a meter pit. And I said, well, so I came right over and I talked to, it's probably Caleb then, and Mike. I told Mike, we can't have this. And then nothing's happened since.
So I say no water services until this is
A
met,
proper
proper.
meter pit, but do we do it proactive because he has not asked for water service, or reactive when the request comes in?
Well, I think we should just send him the letter saying,
Yeah, just send them a letter and say,
that way he's well aware of it
Yeah.
prior to any request for hookup.
Yep. Cool.
Seconded, was that a motion?
sure,
Sure.
second.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
All in favor?
I
Opposed? Motion carried.
Jeff, I had a question on that trailer house that the county sold
Yep.
across from, like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Has he got a water shut off right there?
Yes. I put my valve in it. Because it's not a new structure, we can't force him to put in the pit. So I gave him my valve so we could test his plumbing. So then, I'd say that was a Friday. So by Monday, he was supposed to have the plumbing moved and call me because we're moving the meter from the hot water heater. It fell behind the hot water heater. I can't service. And it's frozen broke because of the winter. I said, it can't be here. I said, you gotta have it up here above the hot water heater. You gotta do something, right? Well, I'll just put it on the other side of the wall, that's where the washing machine is. I said, how are you gonna get the washing machine in? Well, I'm gonna put the meter up here. Okay, so a week goes by, no phone calls, the water valve's off. Okay, no problem. Pretty soon, another week goes by. Now the water valve's on. And guess what? The meter and setter are sitting on the ground beside the damn valve instead of in the trailer house. So I shut it off and I took the meter and it's in my truck. And I don't know what the guy, he probably doesn't have any money either. I know the bum living there doesn't have any money. He's letting somebody live there to paint it and fix stuff. So the guy's either in the camper or in the trailer. He had a sleeping bag in the living room. Of the
I
trailer.
come by there the other night, and he was sitting on the steps of the camper.
Okay.
He had the door open on that. But the water shut off, the wrench is still in the ground.
I pulled it out Thursday or Friday. So, and I went by it at least yesterday. I was on call all weekend, but I went by there and nobody's messed with it since I pulled the wrench. But I don't know what he's doing for bathroom in that camp. If he doesn't have any water now, I mean, you probably could flush the stool, but what are you doing with all the solids?
Right.
So, it probably needs to be addressed. Because if he's not going to fix it, it needs to go because it's in bad shape. And they were replacing windows. I think the windows were out.
Yeah.
The other day, but there's holes. You know, they used to have a fireplace in it. Holes in the roof. Water damage. You had to replace not all the plumbing. When I did test it that day, the water line was good from the curb stop to the bottom of the meter. But I didn't replace the meter because it was behind hot water heater. So I don't know what the other plumbing's like, but they know there's some damage. And I guess I'm looking for guidance. I tried to be a nice guy, so he'd come down and pay his bill because he's ready to do that. But he dropped the ball, didn't fix anything, and didn't call me to put the meter in.
From what I've heard, they had big problems with him and Flanders at the
Okay,
same time.
okay.
So, does he have water service right now then?
Then I shut it off. It's available, but it's off at the curb stop.
So I say no water service until the meter is put in
I
where
guess
Jeff needs it to be.
when I went by the other day, the handle just turned on and off for a second.
Jeff took it out on Thursday.
Yeah, I took it off.
Well, you did take it
I
off.
took it out. Shut it off. It was on.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
shut
what
it
I
off.
was wondering.
Yeah, I shut
If
it
he
off.
was, it looks like a homemade branches with it.
They all are, yeah. Yeah, and I didn't give him my
That's all
good ones. I gave him a old crappy wrench in case I didn't get it back, but
That's all they give Jeff.
yeah, that's all he could
Okay.
do.
I
But
did
it,
get a utility app from him though and a deposit. So once he does have the meter installed,
it's ready to go.
and it's all ready to go for you.
Yeah, all he has to do is do his end.
So as long as it meets Jeff's specs, then he should be fine for
Yeah. It's the utility deposits with us. I just keep asking Jeff every couple weeks if he
I
ever
just turn it on.
So I've been kind of proactive about that.
Can I ask what all these are for?
Those are, oh yeah, this is for you. I did a bunch of research into our sewer. So I gave you the sewer from 2024, 25, and 26. And I wrote down for you the big purchase items that you'll see on the financials like in 2024. We had vendor for $63.96, and then we had sewer and water mapping for $3,100. Those are the big purchases that year. November 2025, you'll see we went negative 7,000 for the year. Well, that's when we did the lift station project, and the big purchases that year was to put up the 23,000.
Okay.
Johnson Brothers Excavating, and then we had the vendor who did the flushing. And then this year, 2026, we still have not got it done, but I'm assuming it'll be anywhere between $6,000, $8,000, maybe $9,000 for the sewer flushing again.
Yes.
And that we have not done and not paid for yet.
And that's a yearly thing.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll try to do a 30.
So that just gives you an
And
idea of the
from
big
the
ticket
station.
items and why certain things happen. Does that help?
Yep, that does really help, thank you.
And so this year, well, last year, we had a quote to replace the manhole at the lagoon where it ends. Because it's just crap, literally crap. Concrete is just destroyed, and the manhole. So Johnson Brothers was supposed to come last fall. He said he would come in June. So I think I'm gonna get somebody new. We're gonna do a fiberglass pit there so it doesn't deteriorate. Plastic or fiberglass lid. As long as it's marked with the steel post, you can't drive on it. And we can buy lids to drive the semi over, but there's no reason to be on it. So if we keep the steel post there, we're good. So that was kind of a year ago's expense, but it's not done.
How much is this about gonna cost?
I don't know, I don't have a quote for 4,000 or something.
I didn't put any quotes in there, I
Yeah.
didn't know if there was one.
It says 25, 24, 25.
I do have a quote someplace from them. Then it might just be a text for like $4,300. And I'll look that up for you.
Just to be curious what
Yeah,
expenses,
'cause
big expenses.
We're gonna dig one hole.
But that was already approved
That was
last year. So that's on last year's budget.
Yeah, just so you know.
Yeah,
What's
and
going on. Is that the lift station or the lagoon?
Lagoon.
And that's ready to be mowed. Mike asked me that 2 weeks ago. I wished he'd had it mowed before we got inspected. We got inspected last week at the A&R. And do you know this? Yes, we do. We mowed it once this year, but it didn't look mowed. And we sprayed it, and didn't look sprayed either, so I need to call the sprayer guy again, but, I think that was the only problem we had, so we didn't mow that up, but. Anyways, it's a typical 3-year inspection. Okay, and then for future, now it won't be me, but for future, at the lift station, all electronics that start and stop the pumps, all that stuff other than what we've replaced is from 1970s, 80s maybe. Probably was 70 when they put in the sewer, 80s when they went from a different kind of pumping system. So anyways, all of those relays and all that you need a new box, for lack of a better word.
And how close do you think that is to being necessary?
Oh, well, we had hiccups this year. We had our motor starter burn out, but it's typical maintenance.
Right.
So
And
you
the
should
cost
do it in
of-
less than 5 years
Okay.
if you're looking for it. If you did it next year, that'd be great.
What do you suppose the cost on that is?
I don't know. Should the new box could be half the size of the old one because the electronics are so much smaller, but
Can you possibly
and
get some quotes so maybe we can include it in the budget for next year? If it's starting to fail and blowing up other equipment, that doesn't.
Well, you gotta remember though, see, this is a discussion I'm gonna try to have with you guys over the next couple months, as I've been looking into the sewer. Sewers and the general fund has a budget, right? Sewer and water has a revenue and expenditures. You don't really have a budget. So what you guys really need to pay attention to is that fund balance. And this is why I printed this off. And we need to make sure this fund balance is growing so we can maintain our equipment for stuff like this lift station and this manhole at the lagoon, and to make sure we can do the vendor flushing out the lines every year. It is within the appropriation, but, since this is what do they call this, enterprise fund, this is a business we're running.
yeah.
And we need to make sure this business covers the maintenance that's needed. So, but this isn't something that you'll budget for the next year.
Just make sure you got reserves.
You gotta have those reserves and you gotta keep this fund balance at a good level so you can just, when stuff happens, you can go and pay for it. And this is where I'm gonna put up a conversation. Maybe it's time to put in a fee per 1,000 gallons. And the nice thing about that is we have our minimum, which is $30 a month. And this won't affect people that use, for instance, 500 to 1,000 gallons a month. Low-income individuals, I know we have an elderly population. It won't affect those that we're just billing because they have to pay for minimums because they have a water curb stop. It'll affect people that actually use the water, the people that, the
I use a lot.
the people that water their lawns, fill their pools, have kids that take 45-minute showers, stuff like that.
And so if you do that fund, I'll just use Dell's as an example. What Dell's would do would take a reading in October, November on your water, because you're always using water. Sewer would not charge you for what you put on your lawn or your garden. They want to know what you use on average, and that's where your sewer price came from per 1,000. It just was that average all 12 months, but that's where they came from with that number, because you don't need to pay sewer on what I was saying. Irrigation, washing your car, you just, what's going into the sewer. But it's just my 2 cents. Because you guys are gonna have screamers if you go too far. You know what I mean?
I looked up Howard, and what they do is, I think it's an extra $3 per 1,000 gallons.
Okay.
Some do lower. Flandreau, I think, does like $7 per 1,000 gallons on the sewer, but they have a lower minimum and a higher per 1,000 gallon charge. All kinds of ways you can do it.
So when we have budget talks, can we add a whole water sewer conversation in, I mean, since we're talking finance, can we get that on the agenda too?
Yeah, and most likely you wanna do things that, this would be a price change,
Yeah,
so
water
you
stuff
set
is
it
a
up.
year. We already did it in January. That's when we do our water.
But this one's sewer, this is why I wrote this down, sewer fund. The last time we raised rates on the sewer was February of 2016, it's been 10 years.
Right.
These rates have not been raised.
Yeah.
And what is inflation went up in 10 years?
But we were still having that fee on there, and we had the uproar a year ago, and that's why we haven't raised it, because we were collecting that fee for the lagoon. And we had a house full of people in here complaining about it, and then they said, we're not gonna be raising our rates because of this $8 fee that we've been collecting for 8 years now. That's where we're stalled out right now.
So how long you gonna be stalled out on this? Because the question is, you gotta have money to maintain the sewer.
Yeah, that contains sewer plus plan for a project, so.
Plus project.
But we just added that $8 fee on though,
Yeah.
instead of,
That was 10 years ago.
no.
2021.
But then when we agreed on it, it wasn't gonna be, we just listed it different.
Right.
So the fee actually went up. It
See,
wasn't
that-
just
that
going
was-
into the,
Rates
That
have
whole
not
thing
raised.
was written wrong to start with. I mean, how they got that in there, I don't know, but they trying to make it look like we were just gonna put that money towards riprap.
Mhm.
And that was not the intent when we first started that. It was there to build up a fund so we had the money there if we had to spend it.
Yeah.
Because at that time, the riprap would have been like maybe 400,000. But somehow that got turned around, people started thinking we were just doing that.
Yeah.
And that wasn't really right.
Well, it's still a conversation that probably needs to be had.
Yeah, and as an outsider or a water expert, you need to go up 2 to 3% minimum on water and sewer every year,
Every year.
because then you're not jumping up 10%, or you're not jumping up 15%. Because sewer's not gonna get cheaper, power's not gonna get cheaper, and repairs are ungodly priced.
So I think we should at least start the discussion at budget time so we can kind of forecast and
Yeah.
project.
And it's probably a good idea to do any increases at the beginning of the year like usual, and just 6 months in, or 7 months in, it's a good time to start talking.
Right. Okay.
all right, Big Sioux contract.
So it's only going up like $64. Am I reading? What's it, 1736?
That's how much we pay right now per month,
Oh, and it's going up.
So 1,800.
1,800.
Well, cheese, you're expensive.
I know.
I make a motion to approve the Big Sioux contract.
Yeah,
I'll second.
that's quick.
I have the,
We don't have any other options.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
here, you're gonna sign this one.
Okay, when you sign it, I can take it to them unless you want to drop it off.
Well, if you wanna drop it off, that's fine. Here, sign both, there's two, one for us, and they're not nice paper, and they're like, have this seal. And then I'll sign it. And I can give it to you.
Okay.
Okay. Good talk.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm glad I had the meeting, thank you, guys.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for being available.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
424.